Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Fitzy Friday edition. I'm Sean Fitzgerald, one of the personal trainers here at the Upper Valley Aquatic Center. So, thanks for tagging along and kind of joining us end the work week. And like always, go ahead, like, subscribe, so we can kind of start sharing some information and see what's going on, see what everyone else wants to kind of chit chat about. So, today's kind of little topic that we're going to talk about is everyone's favorite section, because we get a lot of it here, and it's our abs, right? Your core, your midsection, flat tire, whatever anyone wants to call it, right? So, we're looking at the midsection, right? And what it means, right? So everyone wants these like abs, their six pack and all this stuff, right? They want to see the muscle, see the definition, things like that. So, really the first step is, what do you think that look actually is really for? Are you doing, IFBB? Are you becoming a pro? Are you doing bodybuilding? Are you modeling? Are you, what's the goal? What's the purpose? Is it just to slim down so you feel comfortable in your own body and you just want to look good in a bathing suit? Or, is there more to it, to where you actually want to be able to see that, see those individual muscles, right? So that's really the first question. And then the other question is what does your core really do, right? So your core really resists motion, right? That is what your core does. So that's why we do a lot of, anti-rotational, like rollouts, things like that, because that is literally what the core does, right? It's not meant to, rotate, like it resists motion, right, for your spine. So basically, that's where you kind of need to figure out, be like, what's it for? So, all right, say, hey, I want to look, ripped. I want to look sculpted, whatever terminology that, you would like to use, right? Like, what does that entail, right? So some people think it's, all I have to do is just do a bunch of sit-ups, a bunch of core, and I'll just magically get them, right? Well, no, right? Everyone has abs. No, everyone, has those muscles there, right? No matter what you look like, no matter who you are, you already have them, right? So, well, why can't you see them, right? Doing 1,000 sit-ups a day doesn't magically make anything show or anything disappear, right? If you want to actually have your visible abdominals, right, it actually comes down to your body fat percentage, okay? So that is where you need to focus. If you are set on wanting your abdominal, like the abdominal muscles, the transverse, all of that, oblique, like all of that being shown, you need to get your body fat percentage to a certain number, right, in order for it to show. Okay. And you're really looking at like 7, right? So it's a really low number, right? So that's when you look at some of these bodybuilders, you look at some of these like fitness models, and you hear about bulking and cutting and things like that. It's, bulking is where they're starting to build themselves up. Cutting is where they literally are like eliminating and not eating as much food for bulking, right? They're lifting just as much, and what they're doing is they're cutting their body fat percentage. Like, that is their goal, because they want to be able to get rid of any of the body fat for their show, right? So again, it really involves the kitchen, right? 80% of what you do involves being in the kitchen, what you eat, what you put in your body, right? And how your body burns it and things like that. So if you are like dead set on like having that first, right, you want to get on a good program, right? You got to be able to work out, 3 times a week is a good idea. If you are hard set, 3 to 5 is, doing more not necessarily is always better, but if you're going to work hard, you might as well do it properly, effectively, and efficiently, right? So get into the gym, right? Be consistent, progressive overload, right? You've got to be able to have your body adapt to the stress that you are providing, okay, right? So basically you need to have a well thought out plan and you need to stick to it, right? So a lot of people think that they just need these new workouts, they need to change it up every time. And it's really, if you master the basics, you have a proper form, proper technique, you literally can make a workout, say, we'll just do a dumbbell press, right? You literally can do a dumbbell press so many different ways that every time is challenging, right? But you got to, you have to be able to stick to it, and you just mark down exactly every rep you do, every rest, every, like the tempo, your form, like where your angles at, your shoulders, your wrists, like are you in the proper like stand, things like this. So those are the things that you gotta, keep working on, right? So you're in a good program, right? And then now you need to take it back to the kitchen, right? Because really, you have to get your body fat percentage down to a certain number, right? Which will be the hardest. It's the hardest part, right? It's hard for anyone, even someone that just wants to lose weight. Like that is extremely hard. So what we want to focus on is, take a look at what you're eating, right? Are we having processed foods, right? Are you doing, say, more carbs, more protein, what's, your macros, like what's your ratio? What are you looking to try to do? A lot of times some people will miscount, like that's where measuring comes in. So it's a lot more work than you might think. It's not like, oh, I'll just eat less. That's not how it actually works. So, there's a lot of pictures that kind of go out there. It's like, what people think of like a handful. Well, it's a good judgment, but some people's hands are bigger than the other. So my handful is going to be bigger than, say someone that's smaller than me, right? So yeah, we're saying a handful, but mine might be 100 calories more compared to someone that's smaller than me. So that's where like measuring comes in. So it takes a lot of work. It's not just, oh, I'll eat less and it will work. That's not how it happens, right? It does take some planning. It does take time, and really, it actually you have to be consistent, right? So the best way to do it, and it's not always easy, is that you eat the same thing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You try to eat it at the same time. You have the same snacks, and like you just mark it, right? You just track it, what works, what doesn't work, and then you adjust from there. And it's not ideal for a lot of people, right? You got a spouse, you got a partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, are they going to be in on it also? Maybe not. Kids, job, friends, a life, there's a lot of things that go into it. So when you look at oh, I want his or her physique, right? Well, that's what they do, right? So it's a little different. It's like these actors, right? That you're like, oh, I want to be like Hugh Jackman, or I want to be like Chris Hemsworth. Well, literally, they have a coach, nutritionist, literally making everything for them, right? And building them the way they want. They're getting paid to do this, right? So it makes their life so much easier. But for everyday folks, can you always meal prep on a Sunday? Not when you got little ones running around begging to go do stuff, or up here up the north, hockey stuff. You're gonna have hockey on the weekends. People have soccer, indoor soccer. You got golf, baseball. You got things that you want to do on the water. You're soon, once the mountains get snow, you're going skiing and snowboarding and snowmobiling, right? So life really takes a toll. So it's is it what you truly want? Or do you just want to look better and feel better, right? Then that's where we can really actually work and be a lot better on what you want, right? So abs just does not give you an ab workout. I'm just going to knock out 1,000 crunches every week. I'm going to have a 6-pack in 2 weeks. Doesn't work like that. It will not work like that. The only way to get your visible abs is through body fat percentage, and you need to decrease that, right? And as you notice, I'm saying body fat percentage, not weight, right? So that is a difference, and that is one thing that a lot of people get hung up on, is that you are worried about the number on the scale, which, yeah, it might be okay to keep a look at, whatever, but it's the body fat percentage that will dictate a lot, right? Because a pound of fat and a pound of muscle both equal a pound, right? So that's where you're going to want to take a look into it. So I hope this kind of, sparks a little bit of interest. Kind of, I'm sure this is going to throw some, a little gas on the fire, but just remember it's body fat percentage that will give you your visible abs, not doing a ton of crunches or ab workouts. All right. So, like always, don't be afraid to come on in the Aquatic Center, hit us on up, and chit chat with us. And it's Friday, work week's almost over, weekend's almost here for everyone. So I hope you all have a good one. All right, and next week we'll see what else we can dive into and see what kind of stuff we can bring up with. But enjoy your weekends. Hope you had a good work week, and hey, let's go after it. Have a good one.